can you say that INEC followed through the Electoral Act to make sure that these announcements of results were done properly?
The only way we can know whether INEC has followed the Electoral Act clearly is for the court to interpret. You see, the law was made by the legislators, then implemented by the executive, by the president, giving access to that law. The tenets to interpret that law, it lies with the judiciary. So we cannot sit down on our own to say the law was not met or the law was met. But I think that from the procedure of INEC had followed this procedure accordingly before making declaration.
Yes, there's actually no place in law in the Electoral Act that says if the results are not transmitted, as, by the way, the Electoral Act says, it's stated in black and white clearly that after results have been announced at polling units, those results should be the form should be pictures of it should be taken and sent to the INEC portal. Now there's a reason, like also the commissioner said, for doing that. That reason is to ensure that when collation is being done, there are no issues, because we've known for years that the history of Nigerian elections is bedeviled with manipulations or alleged changing of results, not at the polling units but at collation centers, where you vote something different in the polling units, and then politicians get to the collation centers and do whatever magic they want to do. It's something that, you know, almost all of us know. So the Electoral Act was quite clear. While it did not state that collation should stop, it was quite clear. And I'll read from section 64 of the Electoral Act 2022. It actually prescribed ways, you know, with which you can solve that problem. It says, where during collation of results, there's a dispute regarding a collated result or results from an election from the polling unit, the collation officer or returning officer shall use the following to determine the correctness of the disputed result. A, the original of the disputed collated result for each polling unit where the election is disputed. B, the smart card reader or technology used for accreditation. You know, it went on and on and on, but to give all those processes. Now, were these results disputed? Yes.
The answer is yes.
In many of the states, the results were disputed. However, the collation officers in the states did not follow through this process of trying to solve the dispute. And what's the process of solving the dispute? Okay, let's see the polling unit result. And where will you see it? In the INEC portal.
Yeah.
Because you have to now reconcile what is in the portal
figures, yes,
and what is being presented to you. The collation officers didn't do it. And so these results were now transmitted, or rather, the results were now taken from the state level to the national. Now, that was what caused the drama of 2 days ago. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday, actually.
You know. But then again, the INEC chairman himself is also not just the returning officer for the presidential. What is also being done in Abuja is collation. Yeah. You know, because the collation starts from, and I would
so
like.
Does it mean that there's also room in Abuja for that process to be taken into consideration?
That's exactly what the Electoral Act says. If you go to that same section 64(8), it says where the dispute under subsection 6 arose at the level of collation, the return officer has satisfied the provision. Let me go back to 7. If the disputed result under section 6 was otherwise found not to be correct, the collation officer or returning officer shall recollate and announce a new result using the information in subsection 6. So the INEC chairman, who is the overall collation officer, still has the room to do all those correct all those mistakes that may have been allegedly made in the state, you know, before announcing the result. However, if you now go to subsection 149, there's a getaway clause. that getaway clause says, even if INEC makes a mistake, which some of the opposition parties are now alleging, that even if INEC makes a mistake, the only person that can solve the problem is a competent court. Which brings me to the final question. Did INEC make the mistake on purpose, or they just relied on 149 to say, okay, you know what, even if there's an error, because there is, results are not being uploaded, all the results have not been uploaded, that even if there's an error, you guys can as well go to the court?